What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal? Rich Trapper tapping in TNN Trap News Network. Back in the same, like cook, crack in this thing. Like, comment, subscribe, like, comment, subscribe, like, comment, subscribe. For more of this good content here at TNN Trap News Network. It's that good news reviews. It's that good knowledge you're not finna get in nobody's college. Tap in with the tap in to make sure you are in fact tapped in with that good tap in. You feel me? You feel me? Hit that notification bell. Hit all. Stay tapped in for the latest and the greatest what we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. News reviews, knowledge you ain't finna get nobody's college. We finna jump into this content, but before we do, make sure you hit us up on Instagram, TRAPNEWS NETWORX Trap News Network to become Trap News Network correspondent. Hit me up on Instagram if you want to be a Trap News Network correspondent. Man, a few people have hit me up. We got a few people checking out. I'm checking out today. So make sure y'all tap in with the tap in. You feel me? We would love to have you a part of this Trap News Network family. You feel me? Get into that if you ain't got into that. And we need y'all to make sure that you sign a petition in the description to get rid of. Sign a petition in the description, help us complete the mission to support the deport, get rid of pathetic facts out of these great United States. You feel me? Get into that if you ain't got into that. We finna slide into this content, man. Shout out to Scandalous Los Angeles. Big love to Scandalous Los Angeles. Apparently, they figured out that Wack was lying about being C blank Wack. You know what the blank means. You know, Bloods put a certain letter after the C to show disrespect. Wack was saying that he was such a blood, his name was C blank Wack. Let's get into this lie. Let's get into it.
Along the way. Attempted murders, you know, like all my whole record was violence.
In there, you just really don't understand how that inner city.
We don't fuck with, listen, dog, the only police we fuck with is the crooked police, there's power rules and Crips, there's gang members that niggas don't know they gang. Fuck with them police, them the homies.
Yeah.
They do everything we need them to do. And it's a lot of them out here, you know, they'll pull a nigga over and take it where we need to take them. Them the police we fuck with. So we fuck with police.
Welcome back to Scandalous Los Angeles TV, where we expose the exposers. Porky has really outdone himself this time. Reggie Wright and John over at Bomb First tried to help him, but somehow he still managed to throw himself under the bus. Just like every other time, we've caught Porky in another lie, and this time, it's serious. Today, we're about to prove that he really did go to jail. He really was picked up and brought in for questioning. Now, if you know Porky like we do, then you already know. He lies so much. We can't just focus on just this one. Before we even get into the jail story, we have to touch on some of the other lies he's told recently. I won't take too long on it, but let's go back to that story he told about being CK Wack and how that persona supposedly came to life in Soledad.
And I went to reception and they put me in cell with a G homie named Baby Wayne from Village Town Power Room. And I think at that point is when my penitentiary training started. You know, because he had been to prison 2-3 times. The good thing about Baby Wayne was a knockout artist. And when you were a young Paru in the cell with a G homie, you're going to fight at least 3-4 times a week just because. So, you know, he kind of got me stronger with my push-up game, my physical game, and he made me squabbling him every day, almost. So by the time I left there, I hit Soledad. And Soledad was really, that was the birth. That was the birth of CK Wack. When I hit that yard.
CK stands for?
Crip Killer.
Okay.
See, I was Lil Wack. From there, I went to CK Wack.
According to Porky, he left Delano State Prison and was transferred to Soledad. And that's where the name CK Wack was born. The only problem with that is that in a separate interview from 8 years ago, Porky said he went straight to Soledad when he first hit the penitentiary at 16 years old.
Where the trucking business came from, you know, I went to the pen, Simon. As you know, I was the first juvenile to actually go to California State Penitentiary at 16. Not youth authority, I already ran through that. So at 16, I'm in Soledad. State Penitentiary. So from 16 to 22, I run through like 7 different prisons.
You're 19 years old when you get out?
Yeah, I'm like 19. I do probably like 2.5, 3 years of solitary confinement time. You know, I do probably like 2.5, 3 years of solitary confinement time, you know.
Porky just claimed he was the first minor in the California prison system, being sent to Soledad at just 16 years old. But now, listen to this old interview with Vlad. In this one, Porky clearly says he went to Delano at 16, and that Delano was his first prison. So, which one is it? Soledad or Delano?
The prison bus came to Central Juvenile Hall, pulled into Central Juvenile Hall when they left LA County Jail and picked me up from Central Juvenile Hall and took me straight to Delano State Penitentiary.
Now you see right here, look, let me show you. The first one, it was admitted offender with new AOJ. That's adult offender juvenile. Okay.
So this is your first entrance into the system.
That's your first entrance into the system. He went to North Kern State Prison, NKSP. Now you see, he likes to play games. So you got to understand, North Kern State Prison is Delano, okay? That's old Delano. They have a new Delano, which is a level 4, okay?
The prison bus.
Now, it's going to be a lie on top of a lie on top of a mistruth on top of a mistruth. Mistruth on top of a flu flam on top of a skulldug on top of a larceny. Because all this Ninja Wack gonna do is lie, 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 lie. That boy gonna lie like a rug, boy, I swear to God. So you was the first minor to be in the California Department of Corrections, huh? You was the first one. Let me get into my trap GPT. Y'all know trap GPT be keeping me right. Can I ask you a quick question?
Of course. What's your question?
What is the name of the first, you know what, this is going to be low. Hold on. What is the name of the first youth under the age of 18 to be put into the California Department of Corrections of Jail? I'm sorry, California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Who was the first minor to get sent to the adult penitentiary in California? Let's see. Who was the first minor? The specific name of the first user placed under CDCR of the minor is not readily available because of the records, historical, blah, blah. While not being able to give you the exact identity, know that we can give you race, white male, age 15 years old. Well, that's enough right there. Wack's not a white male. Simple right there. It was a white male that was the first to get sent, actually. So, right. And then even in that time, we can even say maybe even a white passing Hispanic, because that's probably way more likely, a white passing Hispanic. But C blank Wack that never existed, probably not.
LA County Jail and picked me up from Central Juvenile Hall and took me straight to Delano State Penitentiary.
He'll try to say, I went to Delano to make you think he'd been a higher level than he been. He was at reception, right? Then the next prison he went to was SADF, Substance Abuse Treatment Facility, which is the level 2, okay? That's where he paroled from.
I thought Porky said he was 16 years old at Soledad. I thought he said he went to Soledad after he left Delano. See all the lies you have to sift through when dealing with this guy?
He didn't go to 9 prisons like he alleges, okay? He got paroled. If you see, he got to prison on 131.95. He paroled 4/1/98. He got paroled. If you see, he got to prison on 131.95. He paroled 4/1/98. Okay? 95 to 98 is 3 years. I don't give a fuck what kind of arithmetic you try to use with it.
Porky got to Delano in 1995 when he was 18 years old. He paroled in 1998 at 21. That timeline makes one thing crystal clear. It was impossible for him to be at Soledad at 16. If Porky never went to Soledad, then there was never a birth of C.K. Wack. The whole story was built on a lie. Just another chapter in Porky's book of fiction.
Okay? But this is the kind of fraudulent dude that is out here on this internet trying to, you know what I'm saying, pretend to be somebody and something that he's not. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Go to the next one. It say return from parole, re-entry 3, which means the county jail. He never went back to the prison. You see what I'm saying? He was in the county jail from 6/2 to 7/25 of 98. Okay?
Uh-huh.
He returned to parole. Then 3 days after Christmas in 1998, same year, he got another violation. Returned from parole, re-entry 3. He went to the county jail. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
He was returned to parole. Then he discharged on 2/25/2002 from Region 3. Discharged from sentence. Okay?
Uh-huh.
All that talk about he was in there for all this shooting and attempted murders and all of this shit. This motherfucker got one charge of 245 PC A2, okay? Which is assault with a firearm, okay?
So as you just saw, Porky never set foot in Soledad. So all that talk about Soledad was just another lie. There was never a birth of C.K. Wack. That entire story was completely fabricated. Then there's the claim about spending 2 to 3 years in solitary confinement. Lie. Being the first minor in the California prison system. Lie. Being 16 years old at Soledad. Lie. That's 5 lies in one story. Back to back. But this is what Porky does. Now let me show you guys how Porky fell on his own sword. You won't find this next clip on YouTube anymore, because Porky had Cheeseburger Chuck take it down.
Hey, Big Chuck, we just want to talk about when he gonna bring the audio from being talking to them people. We want to know what he said. We could clear all this up.
Who's that, Chuck?
That's Deuce.
Yo, why this PCK always talking to me? We in the streets. We in this. I got nothing to talk about. Every time he does this, it's a PC move.
Always notice how Porky reacts when Deuce questions him. He can't stand it. He cuts him off, yells over him, or accuses him of PCing for talking to him on a social platform. But when it comes to DZ from SBGB TV, it's a whole different story. Porky gives him content and plays along.
Oh, what's up, homie?
Okay, yeah, as long as it's WACK100, because if it's somebody else, we're not doing that.
Hey, listen, we're not doing that. Listen to me. Hey, listen to me. This real shit, right? We always know what we're doing, right? We always know what we're doing. And believe it or not, right? We are the most supported people of our people on the internet, right? It's a lot we can do. Remember, I'm an industry guy. I'm tired in the labels. I'm tired in the YouTube, right? So what I'm telling you, brother, is like, I called in to you intentionally because I saw you was building. I didn't have to do that. People pay me to do that. I did it. I see it's a... Let me call in and give them the content. We always know what we're doing. And I'm saying that to say this. At some point, bro, you run your content, but you gotta have some type of reserve when you're running it. Because remember, it's our content. You get what I'm saying? And
what you mean when you say that?
Okay, so doing these type of things, right? There's certain things that, especially when it comes to me as a public figure, right? I own me. You right? I haven't given you a verbal or signed anything, right? So what I'm saying is, as a brother, when I'm talking as a brother, fuck to people. When a brother is calling in to help you, because I'm giving you notice the content I gave you, you've been able to chop that shit up and run with it for about a month now, a couple weeks. Really?
A month.
Right? At least, right? But it gotta come to some point, bro, to where it's just not like an attack thing. Because then at that point in time, listen to me, you as a brother, I'm a businessman, right? At that point in time, just from friend to foe. I called in as a friend, no matter what our back and forth was. I chose to stay on the phone. I know, I've been doing this social media shit forever. I know what I'm doing. If I don't fuck with you, I'll never say a word to you. I won't even utter your name. If you see a lot of people, I ignore them. I won't say their name, because the minute I say something to them, I have a conversation with them, it helps them. You get what I'm saying? I know that. I know what I'm doing. If I don't fuck with you, I'll never say a word to you. I won't even utter your name. If you see a lot of people, I ignore them. I won't say their name, because the minute I say something to them, I have a conversation with them, it helps them. You get what I'm saying? I know that. So I'm telling you, brother to brother, run your content, especially we gave you content.
Listen, me and you have nothing to talk about. It's established. Chuck, this is what you call a PC move. Bro, stop talking. Why you keep warning the people? Leave our shit in the street. Listen, every time you do this, you saying fuck your neighborhood because you on some PC shit. It's in the street, bro. Leave it where it's at. Me and you don't talk like this. We leave it in the street, in the darkness. Why this everywhere?
You're not in the street, bro. You're not in the street. Stop it.
All right.
I just left LA. You ain't in the Parus. You ain't in Gonzalez. You don't hang in the parts in the garages. Remember? Weird ass niggas.
I don't.
Stop faking. Yeah, stop faking.
You making Food Town Brim look bad right now. Swear to God.
I'm one of the greatest things that ever came from the 30s, bro.
Food Town Brims, y'all know when it's street business and it's up to the disrespect level of me and him, he ain't supposed to do this shit. It's a PC move. I'm gonna mute up, Chuck. When he done doing the PC shit, I'll holler at you.
Well,
I'll stay here till when he done.
Well, I didn't say nothing about me and you. I asked you about the statement that you made. If you waive your Miranda rights, that means that there's a statement in audio. You need to go get that and prove you ain't CS2 back. That got nothing to do with me and you. That's you trying to clear your name. Don't bring the police. The police can't vouch to say that you not working with the police.
You got Food Town Brim looking bad right now, bro. We in the streets. You got, bro, stop PCing. Don't talk to me on no open platform. You got Food Town Brim looking bad. It's real gangsters over there. Why you doing PC ass shit? I'm gonna mute up again, bro.
What's that got to do with your paperwork? Bring the paperwork and the statement that you made to the task force and the FBI on the Main Street case and the Tupac and Biggie murder and clear your name. You say that the truth can never be considered disrespectful.
Hey, Chuck, you know what would be funny, right? This would be funny. I'm talking to you, Chuck. I ain't talking. It's when people say dumbass shit, it makes them look dumb. Chuck, I was in the penitentiary from 1993 to 1999. When was Tupac and Biggie killed, Chuck?
96, right? 96,
97, right?
Yeah.
I'll mute up. But I gave a statement on him. I'll mute up.
Let's make sure Wack knows that he ain't fooling nobody. Hey, Wack, the Tupac and Biggie murder are still unsolved. That means it's still being investigated right now. We can show plenty of people who were in jail during the time of the murders, who gave statements about the murder. You ever heard of a jailhouse informant? You ever heard about Kenneth Bo Agnew? What about Waymond Anderson? Marion Knight and Studderbox were both suspects in the murder, and you were around both of them during the time investigations were taking place. So you could have very easily been giving the police information you obtained while being around them.
I said you gave a statement to the task force that was investigating that, Greg Cadence, and then the other officer that said you was arrested.
Well, first of all, there were no arrests made other than...
What type of loser lies about being a power or like a thug or a criminal and all that kind of stuff? Like, who lies about a criminal record? Like, I can see you lying to make it seem like it's not as bad as what it was, because you trying to make it seem like you trying to downplay it. You ain't trying to be seen in a certain type of light. But who the hell lies about, I went to this pen, I went to that pen, and blah, blah, blah. And you on the streets. I can see if you was in the penitentiary and you didn't have nothing but that. Nigga, you're on the streets, bro. You can go to the park, you can go to the beach, you can go to the movies, you can go to the mall, you can go have lunch. You can just sit in your house and not be in jail. Just not being in jail, that's always a thing. Not being in jail is always a cool thing. But why would you sit there and just tell this stupid lie over and over and over? it's incredible to me. Wack was just an idiot. And then you know they have paperwork. You know they can see you. You know they can see you, right? And then you got picked up for the Biggie and Tupac murder and all that kind of stuff, and you're the only person that got arrested for that. So you've been telling, you've been snitching. You know what I'm saying? Now you want people to take it down, and all the videos of you online are taken down and all that kind of stuff because these cases are coming out. You're contradicting yourself, and every time Wack will tell a lie in 2005, and then in 2006 tell a new lie, and then when you can't, when he has to get contradicted from his lie in 2005 to not match one in 2006. My bad, I'm looking at this white lady walk past, and she is cheeking. Then you got the person taking down your life in 2005. But like, why do everybody got to clean their social media platforms and scrub their social media platforms consistently? Because you're a liar. What the hell is going on here?
So they said you was arrested.
Well, first of all, there were no arrests made other than Cash Jones.
Chuck, if I'm in the penitentiary from 1993 to 1999, what the fuck could I give a statement on, Chuck?
Listen, bro, you admitted that Greg Cadence, that you went to
the 64. You got the brim looking bad.
But,
you are saying some of the dumbest shit.
With Death Row, though, like in
2001.
Okay.
2001.
Okay.
2001.
Okay.
This guy, he don't know because he wasn't around. Stop making the brims look bad, bro. Leave our shit in the street. It's already up. Chill out. Leave it in Madison, Wisconsin. You in Madison, Wisconsin.
Listen,
stop talking to me, bro. Why are you talking to me when it's on? You're doing a PC move.
The truth hurts. All we talking about is your paperwork. Stop spinning. Stop deflecting. When is you going to bring
on you to provide the paperwork?
From the 64th
I don't have no paperwork. I don't have paperwork. I was never arrested, question nothing. I don't have paperwork. I was never arrested, question nothing. I don't have paperwork. I was never arrested, question nothing.
Wack just claimed he has no paperwork because he was never arrested or even questioned. But you guys heard it straight from former Los Angeles Sheriff Michael Cowett. The only person who got arrested was Porky. Reggie and John deleted the clip, so don't bother looking for it on YouTube. Porky swore up and down that he was never brought in for questioning. Remember that.
It's on you to provide the paperwork. PK Wack, PK Wack, PK Wack, Lil Wack, WACK100,
or the Wack boy, or the Wack boy, or the Wack boy.
Put that on Fruit Down Brim. Look, it's
or the Wack boy.
Put that on Fruit Down Brim. Put that on Fruit Down Brim.
Yes,
I told.
On Fruit Down Brim.
Put that on Fruit Down Brim.
Two back. On Fruit
your dead homie.
You CS2 back, aka the
I'm gonna go get to work.
All right, guys. Now that we've heard all that, and we've heard Porky himself say he was never arrested or questioned, let me show you how he actually threw himself under the bus. But before we get to that, I need to show you how Bomb first cut out another one of Detective Michael Cowett's key statements in his interview.
Do you know how she even came to play in the information?
Not fully. To the best of my ability, from what I understand, a lot of people were under surveillance, including Reggie Wright, and that they, somehow got some information on Teresa Swan, who was one of Suge's mothers to one of his kids, and that they basically wrote up a false confession letter and presented that to her to get her reaction, and then that pretty much prompted the confession. Am I accurate there, or am I off on some stuff?
So...
Did y'all catch that? The scene just skipped like something was cut out. Let me run it back real quick so you can see it again.
Accurate there, or am I off on some stuff?
So, Paul Fournier, myself, and Jeff Bennett...
We already know Bomb first removed the clip of Michael Cowett, clearly saying the only arrest made was Cash Jones. They also cut out another crucial part of Cowett's interview. And guess who exposed it? None other than Porky Chops himself. In a sloppy move to distance himself from the CS2-back allegations, Porky secretly recorded a conversation with Studabox, then ran to Clubhouse to play it. But while trying to clear his name, he ended up airing out a segment from Bomb first. The exact part Reggie and John edited out to protect him.
Now, this next clip gonna make even more sense to y'all, right? You heard him say, I told the police, if y'all looking at Wack for doing anything illegal with them trucks, he ain't, which is a lie because ain't no way they gonna spend $300,000-400,000 watching my trucks if a nigga tell them that, right? Play the next clip.
Play that clip.
Are you talking about Teresa Swan?
Yes.
Teresa Swan was. Do you know how she even came to play in the information?
Not fully. To the best of my ability, from what I understand, a lot of people were under surveillance, including Reggie Wright, and that they, somehow got some information on Teresa Swan, who was one of Suge's mothers to one of his kids, and that they basically wrote up a false confession letter and presented that to her to get her reaction, and then that pretty much prompted the confession. Am I accurate there, or am I off on some stuff?
So
accurate there, or am I off on some stuff?
How Teresa Swan came into play here is originally we were following some guy around in the Antelope Valley, and Greg had thought that this guy was going to be able to get us to Suge because he had some relationship with a not so famous rapper at the time, and he somehow thought this guy was going to get him into Suge. So we chased this guy around in the Antelope Valley for several months, and really nothing came of it. The guy, he eventually was brought in for questioning, and
I don't have paperwork. I was never arrested, questioned, nothing.
He eventually was brought in for questioning, and
saying you don't have any paperwork and then the cop who arrested you saying the only one brought up on questioning is you is crazy. I don't got no paperwork. Yeah, he the only one we picked up. And then they tried to save you by cutting the information out, and then you decided to put it back out. I don't understand. I don't understand the level of idiocy from this man. And it's such a need to be accepted. It's such a need to be proven to be tough. It's such a need to be gangsta. That you just completely embarrass yourself. You humiliate yourself. You disrespect yourself. You show your own snitchosaurus rex. Your own snitchiashis. You know what I'm saying? Like, the snitchiashi is crazy. You show your own snitchiashi all the time. You end yourself up in a snitchuation every single time. And I can't understand what the reasoning for that is. With that also being said, long story short, man, you keep it into perspective. Wack is an idiot. We're just calling spades. He's an idiot. That's it and that's all. You know what I'm saying? Everything about that dude is slow. Everything about that dude don't make sense. Everything about that dude is flamorous, skullduggerous, and larcenous. And we could go over all the things, but y'all hearing it outlined one by one, piece by piece. He's a compulsive liar, but he's lying to cover up the fact that he's a snitch. And this is all what it comes down to. Wack doesn't want anybody to know that he's on paperwork and he's snitching.
Porky said he wasn't arrested. Detective Cowett said he was arrested. Porky said he never was questioned, and Detective Cowett said he was brought in for questioning. Both of these clips have been deleted by Bomb first, but thanks to good old Porky, we were able to get our hands on this one. Also, don't overlook this key detail. The only reason Detective Cowett is even bringing up Porky in this part of the interview is because he's explaining to John how they ended up zeroing in on Teresa Swan. To tell that story, he had to start with Porky specifically, how they were following him around the Antelope Valley. Now, for those who don't know, Teresa Swan is the mother of one of Marion Knight's kids. And she's the person who gave Greg Kading the final missing pieces to the whole Poochie killed Biggie narrative tied to Marion Knight. So the real question becomes, what does Porky being brought in for questioning have to do with Teresa Swan? Because if Cowett had to start with Porky to get to her, that connection might be deeper than Porky wants us to know.
So Paul Fournier, myself, and Jeff Bennett decided that we should probably go after somebody that Suge was close to in the 90s, thinking that, because we were hearing the same things too, that Poochie or Del Faust was responsible. So we, the three of us, Jeff Bennett, Paul Fournier, and I, started looking into what Teresa Swan was doing as far as criminal activity at the time present during the task force era. And we had discovered that she was flipping cars or something, high-end cars with fraudulent names. And we had discovered that she was flipping cars or something, high-end cars with fraudulent names.
Say like you may take a load of BMWs down to San Diego, right? Boom. It's like 200 miles. Pay my driver like $1,100. Then you'll pick up a load of Porsches from San Diego, let's just say going to San Francisco.
And we had discovered that she was flipping cars or something, high-end cars with fraudulent names. So we got our commercial crimes bureau involved with it and had them look into exactly what she was doing. And at the same time, we brought a district attorney on board from LA County to let her know what our end goal was, and that was in the event Teresa Swan had good information and could connect Suge to Teresa Swan and to Poochie, that we would want to give her some kind of consideration in the case. And the district attorney was on board. So when we eventually arrested her and brought her in for questioning,
According to Detective Cowett, Teresa Swan was arrested and brought in for questioning, just like he said Porky was. Now think about everybody whose name was changed in Greg Kading's movie. Think about the fact that Teresa Swan's real name is Tammy Hawkins.
It was very clear that she was more than willing to talk and was, I believe, being truthful with how the murder of Biggie happened and how it was paid for through the monies of Suge. So, and then Greg came on board and...
Just like he said Porky was. Now think about everybody whose name was changed in Greg Kading's movie. Think about the fact that Teresa Swan's real name is Tammy Hawkins.
It was very clear that she was more than willing to talk and was, I believe, being truthful with how the murder of Biggie happened and how it was paid for through the monies of Suge. So, and then Greg came on board and started with some of the stuff, and they ended up doing a in-camera interview with her to lock in her interview. So I'm not sure I recall the letter with the false statement that you're referring to or not. I was just in with her on the initial arrest and interview process.
Okay. And the individual that you guys were following that you were talking about previously, just to confirm, that was WACK100, to my knowledge?
It was what?
A guy named WACK100 that you guys were following initially to try to get to Suge, and then you realized that he really wasn't going to get you there in Antelope Valley?
I think that's who it is. I don't recall that name, but yeah, they got... To me, it was a waste of time chasing that guy for as long as we did.
Yeah. I think his government name is Cash Jones.
Yes.
But,
yep. There you go. Yes.
Okay.
What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? Rich Trapper. We back. And that was crazy, man. Big shout out to Los Angeles, man. Rat Run Hunter, boy. You got some splaining to do, Lucy. You got some splaining to do. But it's cool, though, because I was over here just thinking, I got that thumb drive with all that information on it. You keep trying to send Adam up to do dirty work, to play with me. So let's just have fun all summer, man. Let's break this case wide open. Let's get all this paperwork back in the streets, man. Let's jump into this You finna jump up out of here, though. Y'all know the deal. Red dots to the left. Y'all know the rest. Free, I blame you, tweets free. We go.